Let's talk about the future of your career. The world of work is changing, and it's changing faster than ever. AI isn't some buzzword anymore. It's completely rewriting the rules for what it takes to succeed. So in this explainer, we're going to cut through all that noise and get right to the skills that actually matter in this new era. Let's just kick things off with a number that should really make you sit up and pay attention. According to a brand new report from PwC, workers who have real specialized AI skills are now earning a massive 56% wage premium. And get this, that's more than double what it was just a year ago. The market isn't just whispering that these skills are valuable, it's screaming. But here's the twist. At the exact same time that's happening, the ground is literally shifting under our feet. While those AI-savvy workers are earning more, the traditional way into the workforce is, well, it's vanishing. Entry-level job postings in the US have cratered by 35% since early 2023. Think about that. The very jobs that were supposed to be the training ground for new grads are just disappearing. And this all leads to a really uncomfortable, but absolutely crucial question. If AI can now do the tasks that junior employees used to do, then what's the point of a traditional education? What are we even preparing for? So first, we have to wrap our heads around the fact that this isn't some far-off, futuristic scenario. It's happening right now. The job market has already been radically reshaped. Companies are completely rethinking who they hire and why, and it all starts at that first rung of the ladder. And the scale of this change is just staggering. We're not talking about AI automating a few little boring tasks. Harvard Business Review found that AI can already handle more than half of the work that used to be the main responsibility of a junior employee. This is exactly why companies are hiring fewer juniors, and they're paying way more for the ones who can work with AI, not be replaced by. Okay, so you're probably thinking, simple. The solution is just to use more AI, right? Well, not so fast. It's a lot more complicated than that. This brings us to a huge dilemma that workplaces are facing right now, what we call the AI productivity paradox. The potential is massive, for sure, but it's often totally undermined by a serious problem with quality. And this right here perfectly shows you the two sides of the AI coin. On one side, you have the promise. A Cornell study found that if you use AI effectively, you can be 73% more productive. That's a total game changer. But then there's the other side, the peril. When it's used poorly, it forces your coworkers to spend, on average, 2 hours just cleaning up the mess you made. That's not a productivity booster, that's a productivity killer. Researchers have actually given this problem a name, and it's one you should definitely remember: AI work slop. You know what I'm talking about. It's that awful, obviously AI-generated content you get from a colleague who didn't put any critical thought into it, and now it's your problem to fix. It's not just lazy, it's actively destructive. And look, this isn't just about wasting time. Submitting AI work slop actively poisons your professional reputation. When you pass off that low-quality work, more than half of your colleagues start to think you're less creative and less capable. It literally erodes trust and makes you look unreliable. The professional stakes here are incredibly high. So why is this happening? What's the root cause of all this work slop? Well, it comes down to a massive widening skills gap. The very systems that are supposed to prepare us for the workforce, schools, training programs, they're just not keeping up with the reality of the modern workplace. And here is the fundamental disconnect. For the most part, schools see AI as a threat. It's a cheating tool that needs to be banned and restricted. But employers, they see that exact same technology as an absolutely essential tool for getting work done, for innovating. So we're basically training students to avoid the very tool they'll be expected to have mastered on day one of their new job. It makes no sense. This massive disconnect creates what we can only call an overconfidence crisis. Just look at these numbers. Almost 80% of people admit they have a pretty low understanding of AI, and yet over 60% of them believe they can use it skillfully. How is that possible? Well, the last number tells the story. 60% have had zero formal training. This is the perfect recipe, the perfect storm, for generating tons and tons of AI work. All right, so we've laid out the problem pretty clearly. Now let's talk about the solution. What are the skills that are actually going to last? The ones that provide real value no matter how the AI models change next month or next year. These are the durable, tool-agnostic, deeply human skills that make you irreplaceable. It really comes down to a simple, three-step framework that goes way beyond just learning how to write a good prompt. Step 1, frame the problem. Before you even think about touching the AI, you have to know precisely what you're trying to accomplish. Step 2, integrate the tools.
Stop thinking of AI as just a task doer. Think of it as a collaborator, a partner in a much larger workflow. And finally, step 3, verify the output. This is the crucial step that almost everybody skips. You have to be the quality control. You have to check for errors, for bias, for nonsense. Your human judgment is the final, most essential ingredient.
And beyond that core framework, there are these other durable human skills that are becoming even more valuable now. Things like creative thinking, the ability to take the raw clay that AI gives you and shape it into something truly original. Systems thinking, seeing how all the complex pieces of a project fit together, not just the isolated tasks. Communication, being able to translate complex AI-driven data into a story that other humans can actually understand. And maybe the most important of all, adaptability, which is really the meta skill of learning how to learn over and over again. But hey, don't just take my word for it. Let's actually listen to what the people who are building these AI tools have to say about it. Their advice gives us a really clear playbook for how to build a career that's going to last. So first up, Aravind Srinivas, the CEO of Perplexity AI, makes a really powerful point. He says the key is to just go deep into something. It doesn't really matter what it is at first, but that process of achieving true mastery in one area, that's what builds the inner confidence you need to tackle any hard problem later on. AI can't give you that. That's earned. And this idea of deep competence builds right into our next point from Mike Krieger, the co-founder of Instagram. He argues that whole craze about learning to code kind of missed the point. The real lasting skill is learning to think in systems, to understand the big picture of how all the pieces connect. Look, an AI can spit out facts and code snippets all day long, but understanding the underlying system, that is a uniquely human strength. And finally, Mustafa Suleyman, the head of AI at Microsoft, really brings it all home. He says the single most important skill you can learn is how to teach yourself. But then he adds a critical warning. That skill only comes with friction. It comes from struggle. If AI makes everything too easy, we risk losing the very mental muscle that makes us adaptable in the first place. So here's the bottom line. AI is not going to replace you. That's not the real threat. The real threat is being replaced by another person who knows how to use AI effectively. So the question you really have to ask yourself isn't whether AI is coming for your job. It's whether you're becoming the person who knows how to wield it. Are you going to be that person?